People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, people, you say I rarely smile. I think there's a little smirk on my face, but how long that will last, I don't know. But Premier League football is back. You know what it is. Arsenal versus Man City. Manchester City versus Arsenal. We go to the Etihad. Arteta returns, as an enemy at the Etihad. It's the apprentice versus the master. With all due respect to Arteta going against Pep Guardiola. We wanted football to return. It's been a madness. It's been a while since I've done a preview of a game. It's been a while since I've reviewed a game. So I'm looking excited to it. I'm feeling excited to it. But come probably, 10 p.m. on that Wednesday, probably wishing football never returned. And that would be in true Arsenal fashion. Now, Man City, with all due respect, I'm not going to say it's a free hit, but it is a massive task. On one hand, I just want to, of course I want to win. I'm not saying I want to lose. I want to win. I want to walk away with a draw if worse comes to worse. Regardless of win, lose or draw, I want the team to leave with some credibility. I don't want us to get capitulated. I don't want us to lose cricket scores. I don't want us to lose the dumb mistakes. I want us to go into it. What I believe has been missing from Arsenal, which Arteta is doing it. Obviously, I want to win games, but I want to go into these sort of games. If we lose to the better set of men because they were better than us. We weren't switching off at the halfway line. People didn't switch off at set pieces and these sort of things and give them cheap goals. Because as we know, Man City will exploit that. City, every team can, but City's a dangerous team. They can set up a goal. Everyone in that team can set up a goal. The keeper, the striker, all it needs is a second. What we do off the ball is going to be vital. Concentration is going to be vital. They have tactical fouls on lock. They have movement on lock. Players make great movement. Players that ain't even gonna get the ball. Go and look at more time all their goals. There's players that know they're not gonna be involved in the sequence, but they're making runs because they know they're gonna draw oppositions out of play. So being switched on, or how we remain switched on, how disciplined we remained, it's gonna be one of them games. It's gonna be one of them games where I'll need to see strikers. You might be a striker, but you're busting a gut trying to prevent a tackle, trying to make a tackle or prevent something down the left wing or the right wing or whatever. It's one of them games, people. Like I said, if we lose, I want to lose knowing that, we lost to the better team. We gave all we could. Their quality shown. Let's be honest, they apparently they did an inter-squad friendly with both sets of teams, and looking at the teams, I don't know if it's fact, but looking at the two teams, City have two top 6 contending teams in their own right. So we know the depth is crazy. We know the quality of player there's with there's probably, I believe, only Saka, Aubameyang, Martinelli. I'd probably throw Torreira in there. The only players I believe you could bring to Pep right now and say, there's a did I say Pepe? I meant Aubameyang, Martinelli, Saka, Torreira. They're the only players you could bring to Pep and say, there's some use for them in the squad. I don't think there's any others really and truly there. That doesn't mean the rest are bad, but just to highlight the goal thing in class between the two sides. It is what it is. We owe it to ourselves, just in terms of positivity and things, to target top 4. I don't think it's going to happen because we need to rely on way too much from other teams, and I think it's a big ask to ask if we can put a run together, because we've got a difficult set of games, people. Like our remaining fixtures, if not necessarily because of the standard. And to be fair, Arteta is unbeaten at home, so away from home so far at Arsenal. Hopefully that doesn't change come Wednesday. But looking at our remaining fixtures, on Wednesday we play City away from home. Saturday we need to play Brighton. The following Thursday, we've obviously got Southampton away. Now, St Mary's is always a difficult game, or a game that gives me nerves going into. Brighton, we've had some negative results there in the past. When was the last time we won at the Etihad? It was probably when we had the pivot of Santi and Coquelin, so we need to do better. Norwich at home, you never know. In July, we're getting to the conclusion of the Prem. These relegation-threatened sides, you normally see some booky things happening. So I expect us to win against Norwich, but it's dodgy. We've obviously got to play Spurs at a point in July as well. We've got to welcome Leicester at our place. We've got to go away to Wolves, which is a dangerous game. Hopefully Liverpool just let us win when we play them in July, because by then they would have wrapped up the title. They'd be focusing on the Champions League. They can have some fun with it. But going on recent performances, Liverpool are going to hand them. We're going to get ourselves handed. Liverpool are going to hand ourselves to them. We're going to get ripped. We're going to get destroyed. We've got to play Aston Villa away from home on the 18th of July, which again, relegation threatened sides. You've got to be careful. We end the campaign at home to Watford, who you never know. So it's a dodgy one. So like I said, I think we should target top 4. I think we should target trying to put a run together and being positive, because next season I want to see us get Champions League via the top four. I want to see us get top four and Europa League final, which should be the things. So all we can do is try and win our games and put a run together, because I believe even if we won all of them, we'd be in the top four. But even if you won half of them, you're still relying on other teams to do other things and drop points and all of this sort of stuff. It's all out of our hands. So all we can do is try and end the campaign in the most respectable way. Try and end as high as we can. You know, if we can grab 5th place, if we can grab 4th, great. If we can grab 5th, 6th, it's not good, but we've saved some face. 7th, 8th, 9th, and you know what? That's the real story, and that's probably where we deserve to be, because we've been woeful all season, and it shows and it shakes up the club. I know Arteta's just come in, but it would, you know, it would tell Arteta the work that needs to be done. The players, you know, a lot of, you know, we can't we win or lose, we're in this thing together. So players have to look close to home. The people actually above Arteta and the players, it's got to kick home for the board. Now, obviously, we hear talk of, you know, financial issues and stuff, but it's got to kick home how years of underperformance in all aspects on and off the field is catching up to us now, because now we're playing catch up commercially, now we're playing catch up with scouting, now we're playing catch up with recruitment, now we're playing catch up with how we tie down contracts in many ways. And what you do in the dark comes to light, and you know, we've been mismanaged for years. Whether people have left and come, people have still been here, we're still doing this thing, people. So it's a dodgy one. It would be a big W for the fans, Arsenal fans, if we could get a win. I know, like me, a lot of you are hoping that obviously with the break, City might not be fully fit, and you know, you look at players like Kevin, he's probably slim now, but he did look a bit like he's piled on a couple of pounds in training. So hopefully they're a bit lethargic and things. But saying that, you know, regardless, all it takes is a ball over the top for Kevin to beat the offside track. Our centre halves are way too wide, and then we get destroyed in things like that, people. In fact, that's some examples I could actually didn't include that. It's been so long, I thought I could. Let me remind myself at the end to do some of that on the tactics board. Apologies, people. Now, getting back to action. It's a difficult one, man. Obviously, I believe Aubameyang's birthday the next day, so it'd be nice for him to get 3 points. It'd be nice for Aubameyang to score, because I believe he's on 49 goals in the Prem. 50 would be a massive W. Arteta is we're still unbeaten in 2020. Arteta is still unbeaten away from home, people. So there is a lot of things we could be said, people. Like I said, in his 7 games away from home, Arteta is unbeaten in all competitions for the Gooners. He's won 3 and he's drawn 4. You know, we've claimed 17 points so far under Arteta, I believe, and we're unbeaten in 2020. So there is something to be positive about. And City, by their own, listen, what other teams doing stuff against City is irrelevant to Arsenal, as fans we know. But City, by their own standards, have been a bit shaky. I mean, you look at their game against United. Obviously, United really should have probably conceded 2 goals, but you've got to credit Man United, because I think they remained compact. They did what they could. They won their 1v1 battles. They doubled up where they needed to, and they exploited what they needed to. You know, Ederson, I'm pretty sure Ederson let Scott McTominay score from like halfway line or something. He come off his line, and I think Martial scored a sort of volley thing. I could be wrong, but that gives you some hope. Spurs, obviously, you get a bit of the rub of the green. Spurs were getting peppered against them, but they walked away with a win. Now, just because they done it don't mean we can, but this just shows you. One, I think against City you can't sit back. I think you have to be prepared to sit back, to be without the ball, to concede that they'll have the lion's share of possession. That's a given. But what I need us to do is be brave. Don't have this inferior complex. Don't do what Emery would do and come there and just sit behind the ball. Yes, we don't need to pull forward. Yes, we need to be careful of gaps that open up in the pitch, especially the second half. The first 10 and the last 10 for me are the most vital things. But we need to have a goal. Players have to believe in themselves, and I think Arteta, of all people, understands this. Just because Arteta was there doesn't mean, you know, he knows the blueprint and knows what Pep's going to do, because, you know, Pep's shown he can reinvent himself. But you'd imagine he'd have his number in a sense, or of sorts, people. Like I said, possession is 9/10 of the law, but you know, we need to do what we can to have half a chance. And you know, City can play a bunch of formations. You know, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 4-4-2, many slight variations of such, depending on how you interpret such, people. And in relation to the lineup, I'm not too sure what we could do, because a part of me wants to go 3 at the back. I'm not too sure if I could hold this, but a part of me wants to go 3 at the back, people, purely because of the added stability. Now, admittedly, if you go 3 at the back, you should probably throw Ozil or Joe Willock in there. Joe Willock's got the legs, you know, to put himself around and stuff, and we might be able to harness that youthful energy, but I'm not really think it's a good pick. Ozil, of course, you know, you've set up a team for him to do his thing. Ozil, you need someone to connect the lines, and a lot of that is true, but I don't think it's a game for Ozil. And I'm not too sure on Torreira's fitness, because I'm not too sure if he actually has played in any of the friendlies. I know he's like a couple of players all over the Prem. He's been afforded, you know, a lot of time to get back, and I think he is fit, but I'm not too sure. So if Torreira is fit, I'd probably play Torreira in the hole. In reality, that's probably Xhaka at the base to collect the ball. You've got Torreira, and I'd probably go with Ceballos in that withdrawn role as well, people. That would be it for me. Defence is a tricky one, because for me, I'd probably see it being David Luiz, Mustafi, but I'm scared of Mustafi being pulled out into these positions as well. So it'd probably be David Luiz, Mustafi, and I'd go Marie as well. You could also play, I don't think Arteta would do it, but there's also the scope of playing Tierney there, Saka there, and stuff like that, people. So you've got a bit of options there, but I'm not too sure. And then it's a bit of a dodgy one, because in relation to the strikers, I don't think Lacazette or Eddie should start. I would go with a singular Aubameyang, but at the same time, there's case to that for them to start. Maybe Martinelli and Aubameyang, because I'd want both of them to stretch, and go back. I need one of them, if not both, to go back with these fullbacks, people. Don't encourage these fullbacks to get set, and that's probably why I could see us going with a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, purely because we've got to be careful, because the fullbacks, people. If we give Kyle Walker, the license to get forward, he'll make no mistake. At least if he's got Aubameyang, then Aubameyang can go back a bit and help us. But he might think, yo, I don't want to get in a foot race with Aubameyang of sorts, people. So a part of me feels to go free at the back, but by instinct, I'm keen to just go 4-2-3-1, people. To be fair with you. There we go. But then again, it's a bit of a booky one, because the thing is, I'd want Torreira in there, but if you go Torreira, Xhaka and Ceballos can play a ball forward, so can Xhaka, and Torreira's not dead on the ball, but I think there's a bit of a mismatch in creativity, and I'm going against my own logic. So I'm happy I'm not Arteta and have to think about this. You know, I'd go Aubameyang, Martinelli, purely because they're fast, they're interchangeable, and what I'd like to see is these men swapping. Sometimes Aubameyang go do the thing out wide, sometimes Martinelli, and they'd always have to be on their toes. There's also the case of Nelson or Pepe. It's in the balance. I think Nelson will probably get some opportunities, but we've paid 70 odd for Pepe. Throw Pepe in. I think there's a case to start Lacazette, but you know, if it goes wrong, you know, because I think we need someone that's going to stay there and occupy the centre halves and be a physical threat. But in reality, if that is Lacazette and you know, City to be expected, they're on top of us, they're dominating possession, they might say, yo, you know, hey, you lot push up, man. We've got him. And Rodri or Fernandinho might be there and say, yo, man, let them go. And then this is what will happen. The fullbacks are gone. The fullbacks are gone, people. And this is why I'm saying Aubameyang and Martinelli, so they can go back. So the fullbacks might think, oh shit, that's Aubameyang. I can't go up there. It's a bit of a mad thing for me. Because as you lot know, City, they don't need it. That is what they're going to do. They're going to get into our half. They go forward. Their midfielders are going to go back. They're going to have that safety net with Fernandinho. Their centre halves are going to go. And we're going to have to be prepared at several stages to play this game in their half, people. In our own half, sorry. And that's where we need to be compact. We need to make sure we're clearing our lines properly. We need to make sure, you know, we're being confident. When we win the ball as well, I want to see options for the man ahead as well, people. So it's a bit of a techie one. It's a techie one. Like I said, man, City, I don't even need to show you lot. City can score a goal from all over the field. You've seen Edison set up how many chances, people. But there's certain things I don't want to see us come with, and I should really do this on the other bit. There's certain things I don't want to see. And I'm looking at my defence now. It's not just our defence, our midfield. I don't want to see midfield runners, because like you saw with Kevin De Bruyne's goal either last season or this year at the Emirates, we didn't follow him. He's at the edge of the area and he made no mistake. Follow midfield runners. If you look over your shoulder and you can't see a man, get the fuck back, pardon my language, because this is a game where I don't want it to be cheap mistakes, because plenty of time against City, we're actually playing okay, and it's cheap mistakes that leads to us to concede these goals. You give Kevin De Bruyne a space, you make sure you're unaware. If you're unaware of where Sergio is, you're fucked, people. Pardon my language. And these are the things I don't want to see. I don't want to see happening, people. I don't want to see this. I don't want to. Our back four. If the ball's over here with my man, and we think we've done a good job marking him. We haven't, because like we saw in the cup final a couple of years ago, if you turn around and you've given Sergio too much space, that ball will come in behind, he's gone. Get tight, double up. If you see your teammates doubling up, get round them and support them. Make sure you're doubling up. Leave no space, people. And the thing as well that needs to be done, 2v1 situations. The wingers, I'm looking at you. Because City, they've got great wingers. They've also got great fullbacks. Make sure you're coming back and supporting them. And also make sure you're aware of the men in the midfield who are going to make these runs. Apologies if I'm not holding this straight, people. I'm left-handed. It's kind of difficult doing it with my right. These are the things we've got to avoid, people. What I don't want to see is a simple ball from Kevin over the top for Sergio into space. What I don't want to see is balls weighted over the top for fullbacks or wingers into space. We have to be switched on. And I haven't said it, but what we do with the ball is important. We've got to be brave. I don't mind if we make mistakes. We might. City's a great team, but what I don't want to see is hot potato. If you get that ball and you see that pass, try it. If you get that shot and there's the opportunities, try it. Don't pass the buck. This is a game where pure bravery is demanded. Pure bravery is the minimum. We can't accept less than that. Like I said, mistakes happen, we move forward. But we need to go down fighting if we're going to lose. If you ask me to make an educated guess with my brain, we're losing this about 3-4-1. I hope that's not the case, people. But I want to see us lose in a respectable way. And in relation to that, the only thing left, I guess, is the is my lineup. And I do think it should be a 3 at the back thing. But right now, I'm more lining towards a 4-2-3-1. I am scared about the pivot. Leno picks himself in goal. David Luiz and Mustafi would be the ones for me. Right back, Hector Bellerin. I would actually go Maitland-Niles, but I believe Bellerin looked decent based on the highlights. And that's another thing, before I continue, people, I don't want to read too much into a game I didn't see against Brentford. Obviously, it's a friendly and things, but considering that was a week before our game, it was to fans, the perception it gives off, because the players, that might just have been a one-off, but it don't look good to fans. It doesn't look good. It didn't strike me with any sort of pride, people, because if David Luiz continues how he does, if blaming the wrong guys. If Maitland-Niles and Lacazette give away the balls that they did, if our defence is at 6s and 7s, you will lose by a cricket score. That's the only thing I was thinking of. And to the perception of fans, of course, we did not see the whole game. But to the perception, the way they lost in that game, fair enough, it was 3-2. But that game, based on the fact that we're playing the current Premier League champions a week from now, it didn't set out good. So if you lose, you can expect these sort of things to be in the headlines, to which you only have yourselves to blame. Like I said about the lineup, Leno, Mustafi, Luiz, Kieran Tierney if he is fit, right back Hector Bellerin, midfield I think we should persist with the pivot of Xhaka and Ceballos. Got to get Ozil or Joe in there, to be fair, because you need creativity. But I want the handbrake of Torreira, so I'm going to say I'm prepared to risk a lack of creativity to go with Ceballos, Xhaka and Torreira personally in a midfield 3. That just leaves the front 3, and I'm going with Aubameyang through the middle, Martinelli on the left. But like I said, I want them interchanging, and I believe Pepe on the right. Pepe, please, by all means, rip and destroy your fullback, but please, goals, assists, keep a cool head, either pass or shoot. Please, Pepe, as much as I love you, but one thing you got to learn about the Prem is, when you rip a man and you dance past a man, that's good, but we need goals and assists. I want us to play fast, I want us to play fluid, and to be honest, we haven't got as good a team as City does have, but if we do have a decent something on paper, we've got fairly decent options for that front 3, so I want to see that bravery. But again, the midfield battle is key. The midfield needs to be helped. The midfield battle is key. That's probably why I'm more leaning towards a flat midfield 3, because as much as I like Ozil, and I think, he gets a bit of a bad rap for his lack of work rate, I don't think it's a game for him, excluding the fact that we need someone that can pass the ball and do all that Ozil stuff. Joe, I think Joe, like the flip side of Joe against Ozil, Joe is going to give you that, more modern day sort of stuff in the creative role. He's going to put himself around. But of course, Joe doesn't quite have the decision making, the ability to find up and take up positions to get on the ball to that level. So, I'm thinking in my head, let's forget that. If we go with that, I can't begrudge Arteta, but let's just forget that, innit? I'll go with a flat midfield 3 / a pivot / a defensive mid of Torreira, Xhaka and Ceballos. And to be fair, Xhaka has a long range pass on him. Xhaka's not bad on the ball, neither is Torreira. Ceballos, you probably have to be the decision maker for us. So there's not like we're playing free, with all due respect, free league cat almost there. So we'll have to see what happens, man. Educated guess, I think we lose. Hopefully we can walk away with a win or draw and give us some confidence to have at least a tiny bit of hope in relation to the top 4 race. I think we're getting our asses handed to us, but we'll have to see. In relation to my preview though, I've got nothing more to add, so I'm going to keep it moving. It's always a pleasure, and as usual, thank you guys for listening and persisting. But on that note, I'm going to keep it moving. Deluded, I'm out.